Yeah, yeah, yeah. Check one, two. The dangers of pornography. What are the downsides of pornography? There's definitely downsides to pornography. In my experience, I have watched porn for about 13 years, 12 years or something. Thankfully, a lot less now, but there's nothing good that I can think of that can come out of that. There's nothing good about having an addiction to high speed internet porn for 12 years when you're a boy, not even a teenager, from a boy. Tell me what good can come from that. Now there's a generation of people like that. So a whole generation of people, and obviously there's older people too and women, but there's a whole generation of men that have grown up and are growing up with the accessibility of free internet porn, of free videos of the finest women performing the nastiest things. And that's just me being conservative, really. I don't think there's anything good can come from that for society. I don't think so. So what are the downsides of pornography? Well, physically, you're addicted. You have an addiction. Addictions are not good. Whatever it is, pornography, whatever it is, food, even if it's weed. People say that weed is not bad. Yeah, if you're addicted to weed and you can't do anything with weed while on weed, it's not good for you. So you're addicted to something. And it's a type of addiction that it's connected to a very primal aspect of humanity, which is procreation. It's like food. That's why, at least in the United States, most people die from food related illnesses, right? So it's not a good thing to have an addiction. A primal addiction is worse. And it's an addiction that physically it drains you. You know, I'm sure if you're not addicted, it's another thing, but when you end up doing what you're doing, you're not staying up, arms up high, rooting for yourself. Physically and mentally, it drains you because you're obviously doing something that you know you shouldn't be doing. And there's a division that happens, kind of like from your roots. I don't want to get not philosophical. I don't want to get woo woo with it, but from your feet and your groundedness, there's a division, a fragmentation that happens from your legs to your mind and yourself. That is absolutely true, and I know it happens to hundreds of thousands of people. So that's one of them. That's just the physical aspect of it. Your creativity is out the window. Your conversations are not as good as they can be because you are not, in your eyes, you're not the best that you can be. And it's a dirty little secret. That's when the social aspect of the addiction comes in. It's for me it was a very shameful thing, very shameful. And what good can come from stuffing down things that you should be honest about, right? So if you're ashamed of something, you're not going to talk about it. So that means you're stuffing that down and you're drinking down all those feelings and you're not talking with people, and your relationships are gonna suffer undoubtedly. Whether it's with your parents, with the school, whatever, they can. I'm not saying it's a done deal, but they can suffer. If you have a relationship with a girl, your girlfriend, man, that can absolutely suffer, man. And if it may not suffer right now, you may think, yeah, maybe I watched a little too much porn, but it's all good. Do that for like 5 years. Do that for like 3 years. It will suffer, man. And this is what I've noticed. You start suffering, and the relationship starts suffering because they they you stop noticing the beauty in the eye of the other person, and you stop noticing the look. Every person has a look, and every person has, yeah, like an essence when they're truly present, and you're talking with someone. This is a truly beautiful thing when two people that are present that are not judgmental towards themselves when they're talking with each other. And If one of you is doing that, let's say your girlfriend is, let's say your girlfriend, you know, is a person that is doing well, or she's becoming the best person that she can be, and you're not, hang on tight, man, because you're going down for a ride. All right, it can definitely be very destructive for yourself, man. And that addiction, the porn addiction, that's one. That's just the addiction, man. That's just one thing. Because maybe, yeah, you may be addicted to porn, but maybe you have a good paying job. Maybe you have a family that you love, and you're supportive, and you're a good dad, and you're strong, and maybe you're following your dreams, and things are coming through, and things like that. You know, first you know, the porn addiction may be something smaller, and second, I don't think that it's not gonna last forever. If you do it if you fuck up your sexual energy like that for years, man, the chaos is gonna slip in. It's gonna drip into that perfect life, man. Mark my words. That's one thing. That's the one thing that's detrimental. That's the personal level, right? Society, I think, suffers from that as well, and this is why. And let's take out for a second pornography, and let's just add promiscuity, an promiscuous society. So for women, it's different, and yeah, there is a double standard, and this is why, because we live in a civilized society. When a civilized society is in place, a man cannot just go take sex from a woman, right? Because I know I'm supposed to believe that women are exactly the same as men, but for the most part, men tend to be more, strong. So, since we live in a civilized society and I can't just go rape any girl I want, I have to develop something called game. It's a new dynamic. It's called game, which I have a terrible game. But that's why it's different. That's why there is a double standard. Because women can, and at any point of the day, dude, let's say they're in a shopping mall, and a relatively pretty girl or normal looking girl, a healthy girl, raises her hand and says, "Who wants to fuck?" I will assure you, about 80% of the men that listen to that will say, "Yes, I want to." How many girls would raise their hands in the opposite scenario? Probably not even one. Maybe one. Not even one. Not one. So there is a double standard. So with women, an over pornified and an over promiscuous society is not good, because I don't think women like being used. I know now there's a sexual revolution, and we're supposed to think that women can have sex with anybody and it's good for them, and that means that you're empowered. But I think that's bullshit. I think it's bogus. I think having boundaries is empowerment, all right? I think having limits and having a standard and self-respect is empowering for a woman, not just over fucking anything that moves, right? So no woman wants to be used. And in the long run, it's absolutely not beneficial for women, because everybody grows old. Even if you're a beautiful woman, you will get old. You will have arrugas in your face. You will not be the same. You won't have the same prettiness, which is okay. But that's why a family is a good thing. And when you grow old, you do want a family to take care of you, right? Because you took care of them when they were young. So I don't think it's good for women. I don't think it's good for men. First of all, because men have to develop game. So that's why a new movement of incels is exploding.
25-year-old Alec Manassian called himself an incel, involuntarily celibate. It's believed he carried out the attack to exact revenge on women for rejecting him. Incredibly, there are an estimated 40,000 other incels out there, men who communicate on Reddit and other online forums.
But for men, let's say they actually have the capability of becoming male whores, it's not gonna be a good thing for the future. Period. All right. If you get into a relationship with a girl and you cheat on them, you're gonna cheat on someone that at least someone that you cared about. It's gonna make you feel like shit, and you are gonna be a piece of shit if you break somebody's heart in purpose. If you go and cheat on someone, if on purpose, you're a piece of shit. If you're a single man that's pimping out and if you're creating single mothers, you're a piece of shit. You're not good, man. You're not doing good for society. So that's not good for men. I think what is good for men is men becoming the man that they can at their prime. Because I know sex, and I know porn. It's just a physical thing, right? It's just a physical thing. It's just a transaction. If you want to have sex with anybody, why the fuck not? There's no externalities from sex and porn and being used by men or women, right? But in reality, there is. There is. So I think as society, we should try to evolve from that reptilian brain thinking of it's just sex, it's just transaction, it doesn't matter. Because I think it does. I don't think women want to be used, and I don't think men in the long run also want to be just not take care by anyone when they're old, and they don't want to feel like shit because they're treating women like shit. I would assume most men have at least a conscience, So I think the way we evolve from that reptilian brain is actually adopting relationships, and imagine, dude, what is more beautiful than two people that are in love with each other? They gave each other's hearts to each other, right? They gave each other's hearts, and they are both vulnerable and responsible, right? Vulnerable because you gave out your heart, and responsible because you have somebody else's heart in your hands. And that means that you should not take that lightly. You have somebody else's heart in your hands, man. You can't just forget about it. You can't drop it. You can't just fucking play with it, right? It's a treasure. It's a diamond, man. They love you unconditionally, and you love them. You should love them unconditionally too. So what better act of love that those two people can make than actually making love, right? Making children, having a future, trying to be the best people that they can, and seeing the beauty in each other's eyes for what it is and not for what you want it to be because you saw it in a porn video. I think that is how we evolve. When you're over fixated in porn, man, it becomes an object. It becomes a means to an end. The relationship becomes a means to an end. And even though you might love that person, you are still fragmented, and you're not in love with yourself because you're addicted to something that you shouldn't be addicted to. And you keep doing it, and you shouldn't be doing it. So even though you want to love them more, you can't, because in the back of your mind there's a thought of there's a primal thought of sex that you have to fulfill. And if you don't fulfill, then you're going to get pissed off. And mark my words, man, if you are addicted to porn but you don't think it's a big deal, and you have a relationship and you love that woman, just mark my words, man. If you think you can keep doing that all your life, think again. All right? It's just going to hit you in the back of the head. So, for the sake of creativity, if you're a musician, or maybe if you're a comedian, or whatever, anything that demands creativity. Sometimes being an accountant demands creativity. You're a soccer player, even if just for fun or whatever. For the sake of creativity, stop wanking off to pornography in a profusely addicted way. All right? For the sake of your groundedness and your conversations with other people, stop whacking off, or do your best. Do your best to not do it. All right? For the sake of, and I know it's easy to say don't do it. I understand that completely. But maybe just do your best. If you do your best, man, after watching this video, then I'm happy. If you improved 1%, I'm happy. So for the sake of your conversations, for the sake of your relationships, whether it's with your friends and your family, or whether it's with your lover, for the sake of your relationship with your lover, do your best to stop it and talk with them about it. Talk with them about it. That can alleviate a lot of pain if you're actually just honest. If you have children, dude, for the sake of your children, you gotta stop watching porn profusely, daily, whatever. Stop for a while. Stop for 2-3 months, man. For the sake of your children, and at the end of everything, for the sake of society. Porn is the most Googled genre of whatever, of topics or whatever, of the internet, in the internet. Pornography. It's a powerful pull, man. Sex has a powerful pull, and understandingly so, because that's how nature got us to procreate inevitably, so I think those are the dangers of porn. And I think it's because we deter from the beauty in the eyes of people. So, good luck in your journey. God bless. I'll see you when I see you. And go listen to some good music.
And a lot of the times, I'll get an erection when I'm working on something, or writing, like playing guitar, and I'll just go masturbate. Or sometimes I'll try to hold back because I'll see the orgasm as something that will be detrimental to my strength creatively. So sometimes I won't, I'll see that erection as being my enemy.